The Bears' first training camp practice is a week from today. We are getting closer and closer. I'm back from vacation. CHGO Bears starts right now. Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. Wednesday, July 16th, a day I've been dreading for 2 weeks.
2? It's got to be longer than that at this point.
You've been gone for like 3 months.
I love how when I leave, you treat it like I'm gone forever.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a death.
It's 2.5
We all
weeks.
start marking our corners in the studio, and it gets
weird.
bad. Rationing food.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, obviously, there's nothing in the refrigerators. I noticed that.
You know.
I mean, don't think
Nothing.
we didn't enjoy you not being here for a while. Your effervescent personality every single day, walking in here with such joy to see me and see Greg. And
Yeah, I mean,
you do smile when you see Steven.
I gave you a hug today.
You did. It was very nice.
I didn't get a hug, and you miss.
Well,
You need to lose a parent. You need to lose a parent to get a hug. That was the hug.
That's right.
He wasn't really happy. He was just.
I have high hug standards.
He felt guilty
Somebody
tweeted
tweeted like, "Oh, I'm glad to see." Yesterday, Serotonin said, "I'm glad to see Carman Braggs are getting along." And it was like, well, there was a death in the family, so we that figured it out. That's how we get there.
Right. That was kind of the highlight of yesterday's show to me. I think I said something along the lines of, you came to my dad's Shiva. I think I got 6 months of goodwill for you where I'll never say anything bad. You're like, I'll use it up this week.
Yeah. Well, Hoge, you missed a lot. Adam Johns has joined the show.
I've heard. He's like in our Discord right now, I guess, right? Or
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
Stepping up in ways that we just have never.
he's very happy to be here.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's
I'm
weird.
like,
I'm shocked by it still.
Give it time.
like he's smiling and looking at me like, we just like this is a great thing for him, and I'm like, well, hopefully this will all work out.
Yeah.
No.
No. Well,
It actually, Hoger, good job on getting your guy over here. So we've all been enjoying it instantly.
I'd be lying if I didn't say it's been a stressful few months here, but
Come on, Twitter.
We got it done. We're really happy about it. And the first show for Hoge and Johns will be Monday, which we will actually be Tuesday through Saturday next week, CHGO Bears, because training camp report day is Tuesday, and they practice through Saturday, so we're going to have you covered just like we always have on this show. But we will have you covered Monday with Hoge and Johns as well.
Love that. And Monday will be a busy day. We'll do a tribute to Harry Tynowitz later in the show.
Yes.
But his funeral's on Monday. One of our good buddies who both Adam and I worked with. Greg, you know him as well, and so we'll talk about that later. But looking forward to training camp getting going here. Obviously, I know all Bears fans are, including you, Gary Ross, Mr. Second Round draft pick. Hoge, what news is resonating in your head while you were gone that you want to speak on right now?
I don't know. I'm just still thinking about playing golf and wake surfing,
Which was
you
impressive.
can do, by the way.
I don't.
I appreciated your comment and you giving me credit.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show. You like 2 minutes up on the board.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
without a rope.
Yeah,
Sweet,
really impressive.
super fun. But I don't want to minimize the wake surfers out there. It's way easier than it looks.
This guy's been out of surgery for
Bricklayers don't have balance, even without the knees.
17 months he's been out of surgery. He's still gimping around.
I don't have good balance. I tried to be an iron worker for like a year and a half, and I had to quit because it was so terrifying.
We'll get you on the Bajan balancing thing. You can get it done.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's true.
You weren't balanced enough to be an iron worker?
Oh, man, no. Walking the iron is a humbling experience, my friend. It is very humbling. I was up there crying.
I guess I can really,
Crying.
I feel that. Yeah, that's a little different than
Terrifying.
landing in a body of water that nice and softly.
Yeah.
You know what I want to know that I think I already know the answer to? It's going to disappoint me.
Yeah.
Have you read the amazing Tyson Bagent piece that I wrote? Have you watched the interview? Have you done anything?
None of it.
Yeah, nothing.
So you got to understand.
Do you think you'll ever?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I have a long list of things to do. That was a list that was already hijacked by apparently the extra show we are doing today.
I'm excited about our extra show today. It's going to be awesome.
But look, this is, in all seriousness, these like 2-ish weeks, used to be longer when I worked other places.
We'll round down for
where
you
I
today.
reset my. It's actually really important for me, like mentally, to reset my brain, not think about football. No offense, not think about this show for a while.
We appreciate it.
We put a lot of work into this thing. I hope people appreciate it. I know you do. And I know you guys continue to put all that hard work in when I wasn't there. And that's why we can pick each other up, because we all need that. We all need our time off. But for me, it's like, whether it was this or, covering the team where I did in other places, like just resetting mentally, you come back rejuvenated and ready to go because it's another football grind and it's fun.
Hey Siri, how many days till October 14th? I mean August 14th, Siri.
Oh, he's not leaving till October.
Yeah.
29 days until then.
29 days. Thank you, Siri. I'm not counting that down at
Yeah.
all, but
Some of us take
We're
our
all
time off
counting it down.
when the season's not going
yeah.
on.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we will.
You got 17,000 people here now. You'll be fine.
No, it's the final countdown before we all kiss our families goodbye for the next 7 months.
That's right.
I made that joke. It never goes over well. I made that joke the other day. I was like, well, see you guys in January.
Yes.
But which also, that's not even really true, but it's good. So
Tell the CHGO Bears fans out there what you think about Ryan Poles being extended. People are on the edge of their seats.
Going to watch the Tyson Bagent piece.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, in my defense, that I was waiting for 2 weeks before I left.
Hey, we wanted to put it out at the exact right time.
Yeah, no, it was
when it made the most sense. Damn it.
I got you.
I guess before we get it, because I know in our next segment we were going to talk about your take on polls and the extension and stuff.
that's
So
next
I
segment.
don't want to skip to that. I guess just since you have had a few weeks to reset,
I see Carman still doesn't read the rundown.
Yeah.
I got you.
Swear was in there.
I
at the
got
start.
you. I've
Swear
been
when I
running
looked
the
at
show here.
No,
No, but
we're taking the temp on your
Nothing's
polls.
changed.
yeah, I guess before we get to that, and you've had a few weeks to reset, everything you've seen over the summer from the coaching staff, who I think everybody's really encouraged by, to this new roster and how it looks, and Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams being so important. Like, what do you, because I've had to try to understand where, like, what should be the tenor of this season, like in terms of expectation and like you know what I mean, just a fair expectation that we should all have, because I'm trying to find that balance.
Yeah, I think how about competency? Is that too low of a bar? Because I get the question and I feel the same way. Like in fact, I was playing golf with a Packer fan actually yesterday.
Oof.
Sorry.
And he asked me a similar question, and I was like, I'm somewhere around like 9-10 wins. I think would be great. And he actually was like, oh, I'm surprised you don't think it'll be more. So there does seem to be like a lot of outside optimism about this team. But I just feel like there's got to be stepping stones to this. Is there a world in which I could see a 2018 scenario play out where all of a sudden new coach, quarterback at the right time, they sort of take off with a good defense? I think that's on the table. But I also still have concerns about this defense too. And I don't think they have Khalil Mack on this team. And so I don't think it's going to be – I think expecting that is a little bit too much. But if we could just see a team that operates in a world of competency week in and week out, whether they win or lose, things make sense. And that's sort of been the theme of the offseason, right? The Bears are doing things finally that make sense. which we can talk about a little bit too with this contract extension in a couple minutes. But I think that's a good bar for the season. It's just, regardless of whether they make the playoffs or not, just things that make sense happen. Progress with the head coach and quarterback together. We're not sitting here on Mondays or yelling at that camera on Sundays after the game,
Right.
In the same way. I mean, I'm sure there'll still be some of that, but just let's start there.
Because that's the hard part when you talk about 2018 and how it took off so quickly for Matt Nagy, winning Coach of the Year, first year there. I mean, you can remember that training camp. That, for me, is probably my favorite training camp I've ever been to because the vibes were so high. Like, the years prior to 2018, the Bears from, like, 2014 to 2017, like, they were boring camps because the team was – they're
boring
good.
seasons.
Right. And then Mitch and Eddie Jackson and Tariq Cohen and Tanner Gentry, my guy, they show up to camp and brought like an infusion of a little bit of hype and energy because they were younger. And then Nagy put it over the top with, like you said, a Vic Fangio defense, which I think is easier to go into a season and hit the ground running where you still have an offense that's a work in progress. And the Bears found their way into a nice winning streak and into the playoffs eventually. Whereas this year, it's like the opposite. If they're going to hit the ground running and have this 2018 vibes, club dub, whatever iteration that's going to be this year, it's the offense that I think is going to have to carry this because the defense has, a really strong secondary. But as you mentioned with the pass rush, I mean, who are your edge rushers? You got Montez Sweat and then who after that? Dio Dango is still a huge question mark on what he's going to be able to do. We'll see under Dennis Allen. And then after that, you got Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson. There's not much there. So it's like, yeah, to me, if it's going to be 2018, it's going to be because the offense just gets going way faster, which I don't know if that's a fair expectation in a first-year offense.
Having a very weird week where I'm like agreeing with Gregory P. Allen way more than I'm used to. I do think that if they win this year, that means that the offense has been humming. But
yeah, I agree too.
Yeah,
but I want to make that clear. I don't think this defense is going to be a major problem.
I just think they have more concerns.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. I don't know that they have as much upside as the offense does. Does that make sense? If we think
that's
about
how I
it
would
that
say
way.
it. That's how I would say it.
Like I don't look at the defense like there's a massive hole. There's a few question marks that make me feel like I don't know what the ceiling is here for this group to be dominant in the same way we've seen some past Bears defenses. But I certainly think they can be more than good enough that if the offense hits what I think has a much wider range of possibilities.
Sure.
But I think on the high end, though, for the offense, with all the pieces that they brought here, what Caleb's potential obviously is and still can be, along with the head coach and Ben Johnson and what he's already proven he can do offensively in this league, that's where you start to go, oh, well, this is a team that, can win some games 30-28. Instead of having this bar where it's like, well, if the Vikings score 24 in week 1, it's probably a 24-17 game, and they lose.
Yeah, I don't want to oversimplify it, but I'll go out on a limb here, Steven. If the Bears defense hits this year, it's going to be because of Dio Dango. This is it.
So Hoge, this is something he came up with while you were gone.
I mean, is it going to be like, oh, dang, Bo? Or is it going to be, dang, Bo? We need that one. If he does
Can we
that,
go on your boat now, Hoge?
and it becomes the dang, Bo show.
Please stop that.
Then that's what they need. They need somebody to pair with Montez. If he's Odangbo, then the Bears will kick. And if not,
kick what?
They'll just be floating. We'll kick in.
I want to be floating right now.
You don't love that? Don't you think
water.
I think it's one of my more brilliant takes of all time.
It's one of your creepiest takes of all time, and that's saying something. So, yeah, and when I talk about the pass rush, everybody always talks about the edge. But when you see a Dennis Allen defense, a lot of times the pass rush is generated from the inside. And when you look at the interior defensive linemen they have on this team, that's something that does give you high encouragement. So I guess we're just so used to the 4-3 and, how you get around the corner and stuff. But I do think that this defense is going to be something different than what Bears fans are used to with the cover 2 Eberflus and cover 2 Lovie Smith that we've all been trained to watch for 2 decades.
Yeah, I do like the interior of the D-line right now as we go ahead into camp. All right.
So remember, you heard it here first. Oh, ho, Dango.
Yeah, we've heard it.
Yeah, we've heard it.
Good.
I've now heard it
Mark
4
it-
times.
mark it down.
I heard it first, I heard it second, I heard
Dango.
it third, and then I just heard it for a 4th time in a minute and a half.
You know what, Ryan Poles? Phenomenal signing. Whether it works out or not, love the signing.
Speaking of polls, we will discuss the contract extension that I have not yet had a chance to comment on. That is coming up next. But first, Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside always has everything you need to elevate your summer. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has a great, expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. If you're just starting out, Sunnyside has expert guidance, brands we know you'll love like Good News and Mindy's. And if you're a pro, they've got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu, new ones added daily. So visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. And for existing users, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And just like my guy Tyson Bagent needs that home field advantage at Ram Field, Shepherdstown, West Virginia. That's right. You need it too, buddy. Empire Today, they are your team that will give you the home floor advantage. Empire Today bringing it right to you with their dedicated flooring experts coming right to your home to do the precise measurements to see how this floor is going to look around your furniture. Everything that matters to you, they're coming to you. No going to a big box store, having a nightmare experience. They're coming right to you. And yes, with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing. Plus, if you want, schedule that installation as soon as the next day. Schedule that free home estimate today. Some things are better at home. CHGO listeners, you get a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. You heard that right, $350 discount. Use that promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details.
All right, time now to take the temp, brought to you by your trusted local experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com, and we are taking the temp on the Ryan Poles extension that was brilliantly handed out on Friday in the middle of July.
On a Friday news dump.
On the day that I was at my dad's funeral.
Yeah.
Just throw it all in there. That's the only time in the history of this show that we did not do a breaking news show because we had so many things unbelievably going on.
I mean, understandandably so.
Yeah, of course,
Your
of course.
case, you had just wrapped up a show. You were had to go to a music concert.
Steven was under a boat. You were on vacation. You were busy.
I was in the woods of Wisconsin and nearly threw my phone into the woods.
But it's honestly, it's the one time that's ever happened. It's the one time it'll only happen.
It'll be the last time.
Yeah.
We had a lot going on, but that's why we're here now to talk about it. So, I didn't have a necessarily strong take on whether or not the Bears had to get this done before the season. It didn't shock me. Honestly, I was more questioning if it had already been secretly done.
That's what it felt like.
So, in my mind, I had never really doubted the idea that Ryan Poles was going to be here beyond next season anyway. But to see it done and lined up and public, along with Ben Johnson's situation, that almost felt like that was the actual news. Because we've been living in this weird place where it's like, oh, we don't discuss contracts lengths. And now I realize this didn't necessarily come from the team, but it's getting out there, which is different. And they do have things lined up, which I think is smart, because we've talked about it, the endless cycle that this team has been on, where the head coach is not lined up with the GM, and then the GM's not lined, and it just goes on, and it's not lined up with the president, and everything's done in the wrong order. You can even argue that the order of all this still isn't right, but at least everything's lined up now, and I do think philosophically that matters more than the fear of, they're going to be stuck with this GM who hasn't earned it yet. Now, if you want to make an argument that the GM has not necessarily earned this contract extension yet, I'm willing to sit here and listen to that argument. I'm just also here to tell you I don't think it really matters, because at the end of the day, we see these teams where when stuff doesn't work out, the length of the contracts most times doesn't really matter. If this all turns into a disaster, which everybody's hoping doesn't, and I don't think many people think will now that they have Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and all this lined up properly, then thinking about doomsday scenarios, to me, is just a little bit of a waste of time. Because if you do have that doomsday scenario, you can still handle it and clean it all up again. They have plenty of money. So I like the fact that this organization is finally at a point where, once again, I've said so many times, and I said it in the first segment of the show today, they're doing things that make sense. And I think that this makes sense to set the team up for success in the future. And I would also say this, if you don't think Ryan Poles has earned an extension, I get you. I also don't think he's earned a firing either.
Yeah.
So should he go into this last year of his deal without extension, or you just...
I think the conclusion we made was that it appears to me, when we talked to Johns about it too on Monday, it appears to me that this was part of the agreement for Ben Johnson to come to the Bears. And maybe I'm stretching there. Had some people point out, maybe that Poles getting it after the offseason was because of how successful an offseason Poles had. I don't know. It just feels to me that Ben wanted organizational alignment and that they came to an agreement to make that happen, and it just took some time for them to come to a contractual agreement. So I don't really have an issue with it in that regard.
So let me ask a question about things making sense. And I get it that the news was out there and no one's disputing it or whatever. Ryan Poles extended through 2029. Why wouldn't the Bears put out a press release saying we've extended? I don't. What is the rationale for that I'm not understanding?
I don't know. That's a question for them.
Well, I mean, that's one thing we didn't bring up on Monday was I am surprised that this has become public knowledge. I mean, we didn't even know he still had 2 years left on his deal. The Bears would not say, so
yeah.
I'm surprised that all became public knowledge. I know it came from Schefter, not the Bears specifically, but still, I mean, I don't think that gets out there without the Bears.
But that's still the same thing. Yeah, I know, I'm with you on that, but I'm not going to pretend to guess on the rationale behind that, because I agree with you, Carm.
Right.
I don't understand why it needs to be a secret. I've been making that argument
Right.
for years now since they had this shift, because it didn't used to be a secret. But we saw this with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson got his massive contract. It got out there.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's someone's going to find out something and it's going to be put out there. So why not control your own narrative? I'm not exactly, we are excited to announce that we have extended General Manager Ryan Poles. We are absolutely in firm belief that despite the amount of wins that we have had in our first 3 years, Ryan was given a very tough task of taking down a roster and building it back up. And we feel like we are in absolutely perfect position to be a playoff team for years to come. And we want Ryan leading us. Done and done.
I think
Sincerely, Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, whoever.
I think the other aspect, too, is when you look at Ben Johnson choosing Ryan Poles and choosing Caleb Williams, and then you compare that to Matt Nagy, who had a similar decision to choose Ryan Pace and choose Mitch Trubisky. I don't think it's a same comparison because I think Ben was more of the bell of the ball than Matt was.
Well, Ben had way more options than Matt Nagy did.
Right. So, I think it holds more weight. I don't think Caleb is Mitch. And I don't think Poles is Pace in that regard. So, to me, for Ben to make that decision to come here holds more weight because of who Ben Johnson is to this league as a play caller and who he believes Caleb Williams could be. Matt Nagy was only a play caller for a couple games, and basically, in my opinion, how many teams was really going to make him a head coach first time? And now he comes here, and after a couple years, you could tell Matt Nagy and Mitch didn't get along. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
But someone did bring up in the comments, and it is a fair point, it's not like everything's lined up, and that's why I made that distinction off the top. Things are lined up, but they weren't still necessarily put together in the right order.
What Bears fans technically wanted was for the slate to get wiped clean.
Yeah.
First year head coach, first time GM, or first year GM, first year.
But I do think that's where your point about Ben Johnson and his options matter so much because, yes, Caleb was here before the head coach. That's not necessarily the right order of how that all should go down. But Ben Johnson wasn't sitting there desperate for a job. He had plenty of options, and he did choose this one. He did choose Caleb.
Within the division that he coached in.
Look, the reality is that the Bears sort of fell half-ass backward into this. You made a trade that somehow ended up with you getting the number 1 overall pick and the consensus number 1 being there. That had a lot of good fortune. And then you also had the good fortune that the number 1 candidate in the coaching pool really wanted to coach your football team. That could have gone a lot of different ways. There's a lot of, Mike Vrabel did not want to coach this football team. He wanted to go back home. Somehow, some way, Ben Johnson was beyond excited to be here, which I'm still trying to figure out, and I get it that at 95% it's because of Caleb, and so he loves that pairing, but it's still very fortunate for the Bears that Ben wanted to be here, and this thing is they've allowed themselves to right the ship and be aligned. It's a good thing that they did it, but there was some luck involved here.
Yeah,
no pushback. Wow,
no.
Win.
I mean, there's been a lot of weird. I don't know if I guess that could apply to anything that happens in the world, but
it's fate. Football fate.
But there have been a lot of weird things that have happened to align all this. I mean, going back to the Colts Texans game, the trade polls, and then you look at it the other way, the Hail Mary last year. I don't know all this is happening if the Hail Mary doesn't happen.
No, man.
Thank God for that 10-game losing streak.
I mean,
didn't feel that way at the time.
There's no scenario leaving London that we would have thought Ben Johnson's the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Right.
I wouldn't have bet on Ben Johnson being the coach of the Chicago Bears when the season ended. You telling me this guy wants to come here? The whole NFL is going to want him? He could go down to Jacksonville, be with Trevor Lawrence. He's coming here. And he came right here.
Well, and that's another thing. Now, I don't know how much. In hindsight, I'm not sure how much he would have been interested in the Jacksonville Jaguars to begin with. But the fact that they screwed up their whole thing, and they're like, no, we're keeping Trent Baalke, and then nobody wanted the job, and then they ended up firing him anyway. All those weird things that happened all played some little domino role in this playing out the way it did. It is kind of crazy. So, Super Bowl.
Thank you, Jacksonville.
You guys book your hotel in Santa Clara yet, or? You should book your hotel in Vegas. Although if you come with us, I don't think you have to do that. You just get one.
That's what we do.
At the end of the day, we've seen that here in this city. Sometimes you got to get lucky, man, as an organization. The Blackhawks ran into Patrick Kane, the timing-wise of having the number 1 pick, and it happened to be the year Patrick Kane was coming out. Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. If Portland doesn't pass on Jordan, and the Bulls were not a good franchise back then, and Jordan fell right into their laps, changed everything here in this city.
Honestly, the only time any team in the city is ever good, it's because of luck, with the exception of the 2016 Cubs. They actually built that the right way. I mean, I don't know if we can think of literally any other example where a team in this town...
But even that had some luck.
Well, of course.
It rained in the middle of Game 7.
Fair. But, like, that team was built from the ground up. With the Cubs went out and hired the best guy, and he built it. The Bulls, we don't have to go through this, but whatever. If Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't inherit Michael Jordan, he'd be sitting here with one miracle ring on the South Side.
Our next topic is Ben Johnson, Theo Epstein.
Well, I kind of like that. Let's go get the best guy and pay him.
There's that similarity, but Theo had already won a World Series, and
it's an earlier Theo bet, but
yeah.
Let's go get the best guy and pay him. That's what they did. Good on you, Bears.
All right, I know people are wondering about our title on the show today, and the what's going on with the second round picks and why nobody signed, almost nobody in the second round. I actually do have some insight on this, and we'll share that with you.
Thank God.
Next, but first. Oh, finances can be messy and confusing, but Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. Right on the top of my to-do list after all the time I've had off, guys, I got to get back in my Monarch Money app.
You do.
Because I've been checking it daily. At least I was. Not been doing it on vacation. So we got a lot to sort through. We got a lot of
slacker
transactions we got to file in the right spots, but really it doesn't take that much of your time. And the best part is that it's showing you everywhere where your money goes, how you get things budgeted in certain areas, and just put you in better financial freedom in the future. And that's the best part about it. Without a clear financial picture, financial dreams can feel out of reach. Monarch Money makes managing money simple, even for busy lives, even when you take 2 weeks off from paying attention to any of it. So track your spending, savings, and investments effortlessly so you can focus on what matters most, making your biggest life goals a reality. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's right. Code CHGO for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code CHGO.
That's right. And once you've managed your money properly, then you can hit up Circa Sportsbook. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. And make sure you hit up Circa Sports because they fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. So download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER and make sure you're throwing down bets on the Cubbies here the second half of the season.
Shout out Derek Stevens.
Yes, shout out Derek Stevens. All right. You guys know the quick change people? That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
One of the great halftime acts of all time. Yeah. By the way, Red Panda, we're thinking about you.
How's she doing?
I have no idea. But
then why did you say it?
We're still thinking about her.
But I don't know. But you just went halftime. I go right to Red Panda, and I'm sure she's on the men. Red Panda.
I just thought because of my shirt you had a new nickname for me. Like, no, I'm Honey Bear.
You are Honey Bear. I hope you're doing well, too.
Thank you.
I see that you look great.
Yeah, we saved the second round. Everybody keeps asking about the second round picks. And I was like, let's just save it for when Hoge gets here so he can explain it to us.
We said that it's all about the guaranteed money. Gary Ross has been very hyped on this, Hoge, so I hope you have something for him.
Well, okay, so here's the interesting thing about some text that I put out there to try to get some info. There seems to be uncertainty even within the league about how this is going to play out. Yes, it's about guaranteed money, and it's about the idea that, at what point through the draft order do you lose the leverage to get what everybody wants, which is they want their money to be guaranteed. Of course, everybody does, right? So it's just you sort of have to go down the line. But so why has this been so messy and why is it so unpredictable right now? Well, part of this is, it informed, educated guess. Let's just say that. But I look at Tyler Shuck, a quarterback with the Saints, drafted at number 40. which is an important draft slot because it was one spot after the Bears took Luther Burden at 39. So keep that in mind. But he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks are viewed differently in this league, so just because he's drafted at 40 doesn't necessarily mean that his situation might not be different than, the other positions that were drafted around him. Also, very good chance he starts. That team sucks. Like their
Right.
options down there are, so that's another thing where he could be like, I deserve this regardless of what else is going around me. Then the other messy thing that obviously came out last week is Quinshon Judkins' situation. He was drafted at 36, and now he's got all. So I don't know if that one can just sort of be skipped right now and put on pause or not while that all gets sorted out. But it is another little wrinkle in here. At some point, and obviously there's a huge gap between 40 and 56 where Azie Trapillo is. If I had to guess, I don't think the whole second round is going to get guaranteed money. Could be wrong about that, but I think somewhere after Tyler Shuck, someone will bend. And obviously we're running out of time. These rookies are supposed to report Saturday. But the line will be drawn there somewhere. And I think that line gets drawn before Azie and Shamar. And does anybody blink later in the second round where they just go, look, I'll take what I got right now, and it starts to work itself backwards, back towards the 40 and 30. But it's a long way of me saying, with Luther Burden sitting there at 39, that's really the guy I'd be most concerned about with these three, and it might not even be his fault. He's just sort of in a tough spot, in my opinion, where this is all, if you're sitting between Quinshon Judkins at 36 and Tyler Shuck at 40, and that's exactly where Luther Burden is, I imagine the Bears are sitting there going, we're not giving you guaranteed money, or fully guaranteed, but maybe the guy behind him does get it, which would be an indication that he should get it too, because he was drafted one spot before, except that guy's a quarterback. So if all that sounds confusing, it's because it kind of is. And that's why I think a lot of these, I think a lot of people are wondering, even within the league, who's going to blink first? When is this going to happen? I also don't think this is going to be that big of a deal when it's all said and done. I think the worst case scenario is, whether it's Bears players or other players in here, miss a couple practices and this all gets sorted out pretty quickly. Because if you are Tyler Shuck and you do want to be the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, you can't miss much practice time as a quarterback. You better be out there.
Right. Well, that's to me, that's what the worst case scenario is all the second rounders band together, and it's like a strike. We're all sticking together. No one crossed the picket line.
Yeah.
Until we all get guaranteed money. Stick up for each other. And like you said, who's the first to blink? But if they all stick together, as opposed to like one individual person just holding out and him becoming a pariah. Like we saw this with, Roquan Smith was a first-round pick. The longer he held out, the worse the optics got from a PR standpoint for him with the fans.
Well, and I kind of feel bad for Trey Harris, who's on the Chargers. He's kind of getting caught up in this because he's a later second-round pick, but they reported early.
Right. Really early.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
And so he, I think that's a tough spot to be in for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell guys to everybody band together. No, man, you got to take care of number one. So, and Trey's in a rough spot. But this is a weird offseason period. Even in the first round, Shamar Stewart's leaving camp. He can't get along with the Bengals. Talking about going back to school and re-entering the draft. So there's a lot of moving parts here. And with the Bears and the Burden point that you're making, it's interesting because Luther Burden seems like a guy who goes his own way. Like you don't exactly know if he's like, look, I got an opportunity to be on the field. There's no clear-cut third receiver here. I got to get in camp. I'm not going to be worried about guaranteed money and trying to squeeze every last inch that I can possibly get out here as, this unfolds in a different way. Luther Burden needs to be in camp. Luther Burden has an opportunity to make himself a lot of money if he can get himself off, become an impact player early in his career. That guy could get paid. If I was advising Luther, I'd be like, get there, come in also incredibly in shape, and take advantage of the spot that you're in.
Last time the head coach was talking about Luther Burden,
it wasn't great.
Those comments were seemingly a little pointed.
Right.
Right.
So I think that's relevant too.
Well, and when you talk about how badly, Shuck needs to get on the football field to be the quarterback one.
It's the
for
same thing with
Saints.
him.
When you just look at it from a Bears scope, Azie Trapillo's got to get out there, right? I mean, you're trying to win. You have a chance to be, in the lead pole position to be the left tackle. Well, you're not going to do that if you can't get out there. So when you talk about guys having to worry about number one, he's looking at this like, yeah, I can pick nits over guaranteed money, and how much is it going to really this way or that way? Well, from a big picture standpoint, I can win the starting left tackle job now and have it locked down for the next 5 years, and then guess how much I'm going to get paid.
Azie Trapillo should be camped outside the Bears facility and knocking on the security gate and seeing if Peter's in there to let him in. I mean, this is an incredible opportunity for him right now.
Right, because you don't want Karan Amagaji, getting first crack, and then camp starts, and now they're like, hey, you're second team, and until further notice, and then all of a sudden Braxton gets healthy. Obviously I'm projecting or, giving you a scenario here, but, that's where Azie could kind of lose his, chance at taking the lead here, and then that ruins my Azie Trapillo agenda, which I was really hoping to push here this summer.
I mean, Ozzy's in a situation right now where he doesn't need a Tanya Harding, Jeff Galooly situation. Braxton's probably not. I mean, I think most people expect Braxton to start the year on the pup, right? I mean, that would be the odds-on bet. I hope he's not. I hope he's out there, but that would be the most likely scenario.
I'll say this:
he can get a head start.
I'll say this much: if we do get to report day, or even a couple days into next week before practice starts, and all this gets resolved, this is the last year that we're going to talk about this, because every year we talk about this with guys haven't been signed. Remember last year it was with Caleb Williams, and we had to do a couple of shows about it. Is this a concern? And it always feels like it is, and it never actually ends up being.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at right now. But also, we are going to do it next year, too.
We're definitely doing it next year. This is the slowest time of the year. We will drum up stories. Gary Ross
by the way, we're not drumming this up.
I understand.
We're getting tweets about it constantly.
I understand.
This has ruined Gary's summer.
Listen, this has been going on for 2 weeks.
Gary's fine.
He's
not,
got
all the information.
He's not fine. He's very worried about the second round picks, and I'm sure other Bears fans are too.
He asked in the chat. Greg Gabriel came out and said yesterday that Azie Trapillo GG, our guy.
Okay.
He said that Azie Trapillo represents himself.
Oh.
And then Gary asked in the chat, is that a good thing or a bad thing in this scenario?
Good question. I don't know. Probably not. I wouldn't recommend it.
I genuinely think it's not a good thing for either side. I can't make a blanket statement on it, but I think more times than not, with how complicated some of these things get, it's better to have somebody who, with a proven negotiating track record, to handle that stuff. But I also don't like. I would be shocked if there's any real friction. The way this stuff works is it's just like sort of an order to it all falling out the way it needs to fall out. And I don't think there's any animosity growing or anything. At least not yet. I don't know. I mean, if we're 2 weeks into camp and none of these guys are practicing, but that would shock me. It just really would shock me. I think it's far more likely when the Bears hit the practice field a week from today. I feel very confident Azie Trapillo and Shamar will be out there. And the only one I'm a little squirmy on, and I explained earlier why, it really has nothing to do with Luther Burden as much as just where he was drafted in that draft slot, I think puts him in a tough spot a little bit.
I would hope that Luther Burden will bet on himself and not bet on squeezing out whatever last dollar he can get going into camp. Great opportunity, Luther. They like you, Luther. Run through that door, Luther. Yeah, Greg Braggs wants to buy your jersey, Luther.
Right, but, and John's talked about this on Monday, where he said, good for the players. They deserve to have this guaranteed money. So you're talking about it like, hey, man, small potatoes, just agree and come to camp. But, they've got to protect themselves too, and if there's an injury that occurs,
I'm not. Right, but you need to do a what is likely that you will get from holding out if that actually comes to it. What's the likely conclusion here? And I don't think it's great. Like, I don't think he's going to get a ton more guaranteed money. I don't, just my guess.
I also think the fact that there's so many guys, if this was down to like 3 guys they'd leave overall, I'd be a little bit more worried. There's so many guys here. It's just going to start to sort out. Like, you're going to see one domino fall. There's too much pressure on the line for camp starting. I'm going to say 95% of these players in question all probably have the same mentality. They're like, I need to show up. I probably need to show up early. Like they're ready to go. They don't want this to be hanging over. They want to be there.
Of course, this is the year that we have 3 second-round picks. We couldn't just have traded our second-round picks for Ashton Genty, and then this wouldn't be a problem at all. But instead, we have 3 second-round picks, and now, this is something
but you wouldn't have Azie Trapillo then.
That's true.
You also wouldn't have the injured tight end, who hopefully is not injured.
Yeah, hopefully There's a list of questions here that need to be answered on report day, without a doubt. All right, we got a little bit more coming up, and we are going to pay tribute to our friend Harry Tynowitz coming up as well here on CHGO Bears. But first,
a shout out to our friends at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. They're firing off the fireworks with the big savings all month long. That's right. You can come in today and shop the Freedom to Save sales event, and you can drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on the new Chevrolet models. You look good in the Chevy Trax, Hogs. Yeah, just leave it to me, though. 125 vehicles priced under $20,000 if you're looking for the value that way. One of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. You know it. You love it. No one does it better. Competitive prices. You're getting the best deal. Plus that Ray price promise, so you know you can shop confidently. The price you see, the price you pay. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. And remember, don't miss out on their Freedom to Save sales event going on all month long for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Ray Chevrolet at Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com.
That's right. And when Carm's cruising in his tracks, or I was at the Windy City Smokeout, we're wearing our Shady Rays. You know that moment, the one when you realize you've left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the road or on the roof of your car or at the gas station 3 states away like Carm did when he was coming back from Indianapolis. Well, I've been there as well, Carm, so don't you worry.
That's only 1 state away.
But then I found Shady Rays, and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day 1, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. What company does that for you? Shady Rays is eyewear, always has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
All right, keeping things rolling here on CHGO Bears. Good to be back today, boys.
That's right.
Yeah, Hogue.
Except for that weird Dio Dango thing that happened earlier in the show. Can we
Do you
delete that from the podcast version?
No,
I'm
hold
on
on.
it, yeah.
Do you agree with the contention that if Dio Dango hits, the Bears defense will be impactful?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, if you just don't say it in the way
That's
you've
not
been
what
saying.
yes.
Well, just as long as you agree with what I'm saying, you can
Yes,
push
I
back.
agree that the edge rusher they paid a lot of money to, if he's good, that will help the Bears defense be better.
Not saying it's a
I agree with that. That's a very bold take.
I didn't say it was revolutionary, but I said, do you agree that he's the key to the entire defense? Do you agree with that? Go a step further.
That's not what you said earlier.
That is what I said.
That is your official take?
Yes. Dio is the key. Dio is the key. Do you agree? Dio is the key.
I disagree with your key.
What's the key? I think you're disagreeing just to disagree. Dio's the key,
Montez Sweat is the key.
Yeah.
but that's a given. That's a constant.
It's not a given.
If it's
That ain't.
if it's a given, he's the key.
No.
Eh.
See, that's like MJ was MJ. The key was if anybody else could get good, and finally Scotty got good, and then they won.
Yeah, but Montez Sweat wasn't
No, he ain't.
Up to his standard last year.
No, but I'm giving Montez too much credit, but I'm saying that dude's
You
got
just committed your own faux pas.
You know what?
Did I?
You just compared Montez Sweat to Jordan.
You know what?
You're normally
Carm,
don't compare anybody to Jordan.
You know what, Carm? You have been agreeing with me a lot lately here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Yes.
Dio Dango.
What happened to this place?
Dio Dango.
Oh,
is
take me on the
the
next
key. 'Cause
vacation, man.
everybody else, you can somewhat know what you're gonna expect from them.
Thank you.
And
exactly.
he's the one guy that we don't know what to expect. And if he has a big year, that's a big trickle down for the rest of the defense.
Right. It's the key.
The key.
I think the key is
We'll
that
get you a copy of the key if you
Caleb
want.
Williams and Ben Johnson make a lot of touchdowns happen.
Well, that would be the biggest key. But I'm talking about the defensive key. That's the true key.
Gotta read your keys. Football
That
101.
key is like the key that is going to make some sexual reference, but I'll stay away from that. So why don't you continue on something more important?
Yeah. Will you tell your Harry
Yeah,
story?
I'll
that
tell
you
my
told,
Harry story.
You told earlier. So, yeah, we lost Harry Tynowitz yesterday, which is really sad for, I think, pretty much every Chicago sports fan that listened to sports radio at some point. Yeah, Harry, the Afternoon Saloon, Matt Kirko Harry, legendary show. I highly recommend reading John Greenberg's oral history of that show. They wrote a couple years ago in The Athletic. I think he tweeted it out again yesterday. Phenomenal piece. Amazing stories in there. Carmen and I both got to work with Harry at WGN for a while. And as I tweeted out this morning, I mean, just a sweetheart of a guy. And he just always wanted to get a laugh out of you, too.
That's right.
Like, it's like what he lived for, was making people laugh. And so you couldn't help but smile when you're around him. He always asked me, every time I saw him, he'd ask me if my dad was playing the horses. Because I think one time, like the Kentucky Derby might have been on the same day, and he was like betting on the Kentucky Derby or something. So, but Harry, obviously with this horse racing background, his dad owned like Kentucky Derby horses. So that was very important to him. So he always asked about my dad, and then every conversation it would always end with, any Hoagies? Because when I would come on with, when I was covering the Bears for 87.7 The Game back in 2014, shout out to that season. Shout out to that radio station.
9 months.
That's how we ended they did the afternoon show, and I would join them from Halas Hall every single day. And so when the hit was over, any Hoagies? And I'd always have some nugget, some Bears nugget I would save for the end. And then, like, that just continued the rest of life when I was not prepared for it. Any Hoagies? So,
Yeah.
maybe we have to bring that back here.
Maybe we'll bring back the Hoagies. Harry loved Adam, and he loved literally so many. He was so unbelievably supportive to young people starting out in the business. He would invest in you, which is why a lot of us have an enormous appreciation for Harry, myself included. And, you know, when I was starting out, dating myself, 1998 was the first time I ever got a press pass in the Cubs locker room. And Harry, back in the day, would be sitting in the stands having a good time, and then he'd come in there and wasn't exactly, he wasn't in full professional mode, but back then, like, those shows were so huge that you could come in there sort of half in the bag and just go up and talk to Jeff Blauser and Kerry Wood, and they loved him. I mean, he was like, they wanted to talk to Harry. And then, his journey with alcohol and getting arrested and going to rehab and then creating a play out of all of it. And he had to have a liver transplant. I mean, the years were very hard for Harry, the last 5 or so. And he missed doing radio to the level that he was doing it before and all these things. But Harry was, for me, he was just a really good friend. He would always ask me about my dad. He would always ask me about my dating life. He just cared a ton. And Harry came to my dad's Shiva on Sunday. I'm like, Harry Tynowitz is walking in. Now, coincidentally, apparently, at the old people's home that we had it at, Harry goes there for breakfast on Sunday, and he hadn't seen that I put this on social media about my dad. So he came up to me. He's like, Carm, you gotta tell me when these things are happening. And I'm, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, and thank you for the way you've supported my dad. I really appreciate that you're here, and it's great to see you and all the things. So he, I saw him. I guess apparently the day before he passed, they found Harry at home, but he, when you're me or Adam or whoever, like listening to this guy for years, to get to work with him was a huge deal. It was just like you were working with royalty. And one of my favorite Harry stories that I was telling before, I didn't tell it to you. The ESPN 1000 was the home of the Bulls at the time when they had Mac Yurko and Harry. So at halftime of one of the games, Dan McNeil was the MC, and they put Harry in one big plastic ball that was clear, you could see him in there, and Yurko's in the other one, and they're gonna bang their way down to one end of the court, come back, and then go back and
like a hamster wheel,
like a hamster wheel, do it twice. That was the race. So Yurko is a former professional athlete. He's banging down, and Harry is not an athlete. So Yurko goes down, comes back, goes down, and he's coming back for the win, and Harry's still going down. So Harry veers off course to go crash into Yurko. And so Yurko accelerates and cracks him in the next week. I mean, smoked him. He's banging around in the plastic ball like you're like, what? The guy's literally dead. And well,
yeah, he is.
And now he is. Right, but that was the wrong word choice there. But it was so unbelievably entertaining, and their show was unbelievably entertaining because you didn't know what was going on, and it obviously we're a long way from that. But I think one of the reasons why the people that enjoy this show, that enjoyed that show, is that it was real and there's actual contention on the program, and we love each other here, and sometimes we hate each other, which was similar to that show. So, at any rate, that was a phenomenal, like, Harry moment. But at the core, Harry was just a sweetheart of a human being. We got a couple pictures from there's young Hoge, young Carm, Harry in the middle. Both of them are looking at me incredibly annoyed. If you go back to that, look at that. They're so.
What are you? Wait. What? Yeah.
Well,
you were doing a Dio Dango noise here in this
First
photo.
of all, look at young Hoge, just so spry.
Look at young Carm. You don't have any gray hair.
No gray.
Well,
this is 2017, by the way.
Well, Hoge, this was the observation I made at the Shiva for Fred Carman on Sunday. Was they had these poster boards up with all these different pictures, and Carm, through the years, you can see where he was really struggling to figure out how he wanted to look. And for like a 15, 20-year period, every year he looked dumber. Like his haircut and his beard, just had no idea or a sense of style or anything. And then you came along, Hoge. Jackie was taking credit, but I honestly think, Hoge, you've had a big influence on him trying to figure out how he wants to do his hair. It's just molding into you a little bit more here, and that's a good look for him.
And I'm guessing it's more Jackie, but I'll take credit. Listen. She has had some sort of consistency.
Yeah, she's definitely a great influence on Carm.
She will use the words, like today we dropped off young Beckett, who went to overnight camp today, Shadow Camp Nabagaman, and then we went to breakfast, and I had the entire Dutch baby from Walker Brothers. The powdered sugar was all over my pants. She's like, let me help you out with that. So powdered sugar on the front part of the leg, powdered sugar on the back part of the leg. And her words are, I got you. But so thank you for underlining. But you deserve I suppose, a drop of credit too. But
yeah, I'll give a couple thoughts on Harry, but
yeah.
Real quick, before we get to the top of the hour and we hit overtime here on the CHGO Bears podcast, make sure you hit the like button while you're hanging out, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you sign up to become a diehard. Now is as good a time as ever with the Hoge and John's introductory diehard special for a limited time. This is an offer, and you want to get in on it before training camp begins. for all that exclusive written content. $36 for a year. It includes a limited edition Hoge and Johns t-shirt, or you can bump up to the $59 for 1 year option, and that gets you a limited edition Hoge and Johns hat from Branded Bills. If you're watching on YouTube, you can tell the quality of these items are definitely worth your while. And as I said, the exclusive written content coming from Mark Carman, Adam Hoge, Adam Johns, Patrick Norton, and everybody else for all the different teams here that we cover with CHGO Sports is included in that and certainly worth your while. Never mind the fact that you get discount on merchandise and discounts on events like our tailgates here coming up for every single home game, including week 1 Monday Night Football. Excited to see you guys all out there. But, yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't get to know Mac, Yurko, and Harry personally. Harry did walk into your shiva right as I was getting ready to walk out. Here comes Harry Tynowitz. You know, I'm talking with Dave Annette, who's one of the nicest. Whatever.
Whatever,
Dave. It'd be fine.
Hall of Famer.
It's fine, okay? I say it how it's spelled. He'll be okay. Just don't tell him. He isn't watching.
Well, that's true.
Just don't tell him.
Dave Annette knows who you are, by the way.
He does.
He does.
He
Certainly
was
now.
very nice to Greg.
Certainly now.
And
Okay.
then
I'm sorry, Dave. Jeez. Anyway, he was so nice, you know, and talking to him for like 10, 15 minutes about his career and different things. And then here comes Harry Tynowitz walking in. And as somebody that is a ESPN 1000 lifer, that's what I grew up. You're either a 670 guy or an ESPN 1000 guy. I was an ESPN 1000 guy, even though I took all the different, you know, outlets and radio station, newspaper, and whatever. But Mac, Yurko, and Harry was, for all of us here in Chicago sports, you know, in this city and listening to Chicago sports radio, like that is a foundation of us growing up in this, you know, sports realm here, and the storytelling they did and the dynamic personalities they had and the different types of layers they had to the show, from pop culture to music and the humor and the fun they had, and then the sports all came along with it. It was appointment radio for someone like me coming home from high school, wanting to listen, coming home from work after I got out of school, and listening to those guys break it all down. I mean, when Mac was here a couple months ago, I was disappointed I wasn't able to get in because, like, they weren't just somebody. I mean, now it's somebody I can say was inspirational to where I wanted to get, but just at the time, like, they're so important to the landscape of why I enjoy sports here in Chicago. Chicago sports radio, I think, is a level above all the different radio outlets around the nation. We set a standard here in Chicago, you know, with Chet Kopic and Mike North and Danny Mack and Mac, Yurko, and Harry, and now Waddle and Sylvie, and Danny Parkins, and all these guys like have just taken it to the next level. And this started in the 80s, right? This started before there wasn't 24-hour, you know, Chicago sports radio. And
Sure.
so, you know,
Chet Kopic, if you're going that far.
right.
Chuck Swirsky.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he's a part of that story. That show is on the Mount Rushmore of shows. And obviously what we try to do here, we could only strive to get halfway up that mountain. Like, those guys were the king of the mountain for a long time. But it is inspirational and one of those things that you look to. And I understand that they had their clashes. We certainly have had at times, but I think that is, I agree with you, Carm, what makes a truly great show special is authenticity, and they had it in bunches.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And I was happy to get to see Harry on Sunday because I've talked to him a couple times. He didn't remember me, but to be able to talk to him one-on-one and tell him, you know, I did a little fanboying out for a minute and told him how much that show meant to me and how big of a fan I was. And,
I'm sure
you
he
know, I don't know
appreciated it.
how many people, you know, after that day, but at least, you know, I got to throw him some flowers before, you know, he went on his way the next day, which is certainly very unfortunate.
He battled for a long time, man.
Yeah, but he really did.
I mean, it was.
And then
and
he needed that liver for a long time, and people
phenomenal.
like Ernie Scatton coming through, like offering to be donors, and
Ernie's first class.
Right.
Harry had 2 kids too, and he was a phenomenal dad to both, you know, to Reggie and Lucy. Condolences to Harry's family. I know his brother Danny, some too. So, at any rate, glad we got to talk about him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. we are done for today. Well, we have super chats. I was going to mention, though, that tomorrow's show is at 7 p.m.
Correct.
All right. And it's our dive into rank week, our rank week special. So a little bit of a different schedule tomorrow, as we've been doing these all week long for different teams, and that's going to be ours tomorrow. So make sure you check that out at a special time at 7 p.m.
Special studio, too.
Yeah.
You'll get to
Stay
see our
tuned for
new
that.
studio here at CHGO.
I mean, all I had to do was leave, and that thing got done. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Was I the problem?
I mean, you left, and now Carmen and I get along.
I don't know what.
Studio's underway.
Maybe I am the problem.
The Cubs
Taylor
have first
Swift.
place.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this new studio. It's a sweet look over there.
Secret new. So we haven't put that studio in any shows right now?
It has been seen on 2 shows if you watched Bulls and Blackhawks.
Okay. So
But
we're not the first.
Some of our audience may not have seen it yet.
Got it. Well, it's special for the Bears crowd, for sure. So that's coming tomorrow. And then Carmen and I got you covered on Friday. In the meantime, let's end the show with some supers. Crystal, good to hear from Crystal as always. $4.99. Welcome back, Hoge. Thank you, Crystal.
Did you see that she got her first hit on Monday and another CHGO softball win? Shout out,
I did,
Crystal.
actually. That was the one thing I paid attention to the entire time I was gone, was your softball results.
Good job. Good job.
I was definitely sarcasm.
He felt it, Crystal. He knew.
Well, had I known that, well, congrats on the hit.
Yeah.
Samson Goudreau, $20. Hey, boys, I think we're a little too worked about the defense. Should the defensive line has questions, but I'd say it's middle of the pack. Great secondary. Dennis Allen solely in the DC role. No need to over-worry here.
Samson drinking the defense, the D Kool-Aid. Let's say it like that. All right. D Kool-Aid Samson.
Really?
I had to.
He really had to fight his way through that without saying maybe the worst thing ever said on these airwaves.
I'm proud of you, Samson. Moving along.
Drinking the D-line Kool-Aid.
He was. He is. Let's call what. Let's not. Balake loved that one too. Been waiting on that one.
Jonathan Otten, $5. Aloha. Hoge eye rubbing 15 minutes in. Welcome back. Thanks, diehards. Bears in Kauai. I will be doing a diehard meetup. Diehards are the best.
Wow, look at
We
that.
got a diehard meetup in Kauai right now.
That's so good.
What time is it? When can I be there?
Next flight.
You might be willing to pay the freight for a same-day Hawaii ticket.
That would be a great. Think I can get that expensed? Hey, I have to go to a diehard meetup in Kauai.
Spano would probably do it for you.
Yeah, my Bears on Kauai, $2. Diehard meetup after work. Nepali Brewing Company.
There you go.
I've been there.
Send my guy Matt Piacenti, Mr. Hawaii.
Kevin Carlson. All right, I just purchased a $59 deal.
Yeah.
Send me that hat now.
Kevin's the man. Look at Shogun.
Yeah, Shogun. Punished with a 2-hour delay layover at O'Hare since I forgot to pack my CHGO shirt. Renewed my diehard membership, hat and shirt option, LFCHGO.
Shogun, thank you. Appreciate that. Never forget your CHGO shirt.
I got 10 hours to get to Kauai. It's not happening. Can't get that direct.
Bears on Kauai. J.O. have a drink for all three of us.
Got to fly to Maui or Honolulu from here. I think the last one left at 10 a.m.
Okay, Mr. Hawaii.
Actually,
I could tell you how to drive to Milwaukee.
Thank you. I don't need you to. That's where my wife went to school.
Yeah. Did you know that? Never mind. I'll stop talking.
Are we done here?
We're done here.
Okay. We'll see you at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And
Thank you, RCFN, for getting that one. Did you get that?
what?
Balake? Key and Peele.
Oh, yeah. That's a good reference.
So good.
That's a good reference. That's a good one. All right, good to be back. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. It's our Rank Week special for CHGO Bears. Got a lot of exciting things coming up. Get that Die Hard deal now so you don't miss anything.
Yeah, keep on drinking that D Kool-Aid.
Don't ever say that.
So good to be back.
See you tomorrow.